kujya muri topic yindi. Ibyo nanditse hariya witeguye yumve ibyo ngiye kuvuga. Twavuye muri religion stefini. Ubundi ntabwo yari naje kuganira kuri religion, ntabwo yariyo objectif. Iyi niyo yari topic twari twishofa. Sinzi ukuntu navuze ku bintu bya Rastafari. Fabinho ni watujyanye mu bintu bya Nyabingi. Nsobanura ukuntu haba icyo bita the mansions of Rastafari, zitatu ziri major, ziri big. Arizo navugaga Bobo Shanti, the 12 tribes of Israel, naho bita na Nyabingi, bakomoka kuri Nyabingi muri Rastafarian. Naho rero Fabinho yahise avuga ati abantu bemera Nyabingi ubwo ngubwo se bigirwamana nuko nko byahise biza muri religion, mais c'était pas ça pantout. Ntabwo ariko byari bimeze. Urumva naho ngo twese dutangira kudita, turagenda kuri Nyabingi, worship from, bamwe bakavuga ati n'uwi Burundi, abandi n'uwo mu Rwanda, abandi n'uwi Bugande. Tuzo gusanga ko uyu mama akomoka Mbororo muri Uganda, ariko bagiye extendinga amateritware bagera ni Burundi no muri Congo na Tanzania. Nuko nguko bakoraga. Kabava mu Banyankore, aba muri Ankole. Abanyankore rero bafite amateka ngo batuti mumuzana bakimukaza kwibyimbya. Amateka yanyu mwese ashingiye ku Banyankore b'i Burundi n'ab'i Rwanda. Nukuri kw'Imana maze kwinjiramo cyane nza gutanga amateka y'aka karere. Ava mu Batwezi, ava hari hakurya Ugande. Nibo ba naza kuvuga byinshi. Tukabona Mzee Museveni kuri yajya agira ati moi qui contrôle ici akarere. Umuntu nigo nyambibona confidence anayikura. Anyway, nuko twagiye muri ibyo bintu turabiganiraho, ariko twarangije. Abangiye rero kuri topic yanjye. Hano nanditse ngo Amsterdam na intambara yarangiye kubera amasezerano ari internationale yemeje bagahagarika, bagatangira bakaganira bakajya mu mahoro. That's why the war is over in DRC. Nari maze iminsi ndi busy. Ibi byose bimaze iminsi abasirikare ba M23, aba Rwanda, abandi bari kuva mu bice bari barimo. Nari busy, nabonye umwanya. Nari ndi kure ahantu hatari network mu myobo, ndi gushaka ubutare. Ariko uyu munsi narangeze imuhira. Ngiye kuzajya mbahereza space zo kumanywa. Bamwe bavuga ngo uduhereza space mu ijoro. Systeme igiye guhindukaho panda desman. Mu by'ukuri impamvu yatumye nandika gutya, murabizi yewe nizereye mu masezerano. From the beginning ndabwira aya masezerano yewe ndayizereramo ko harana azatugeza. Urumva? Nizera ko aya masezerano harana azatugeza kubera ko uyafite mu ntoki noneho we afite imbaraga. Okay, welcome back bro. Afite imbaraga, ntago azatinya ko Tshisekedi azatinya Kagame. Buri wese azamutega icyo ashaka ko akora kandi bazagikora. None ubu turi muri ateristage, tugeze mu irangira ry'intambara iri kurangira. DRC yashize ku mugaragaro ko igomba kurasa FDLR. U Rwanda rwatangiye gukura ingabo zarwo muri Congo. M23 yatangiye kuva mu bice byose yari ifite. Muri ya masezerano tuju hatarimo santima, uraza kumbwira ngo ntabwo ariko bimeze, unyereka uburyo atari byo. Muri ya masezerano tuju utazabikora buri mwese bamweretse ibyo bamufitiye ku meza, ingaruka zabyo ngibi hano. Kubera ko uwabategetse bo bahaye dosi arabarusha bose imbaraga, arabarusha bose, arabategeka kwa anomwe uri hejuru yiwe, ni uri hejuru yabo. Shaste yagufunga, shaste yakwica, shaste yakwicisha inzara, ntacyo tagukorera ufite aya masezerano. Kandi niyo mpamvu jewe nizereraga mu masezerano ko azarangiza intambara. Bamwe muri twebwe bakavuga ati ni isasu mpaka ku mutonyi wa nyuma amaraso. Kabwira muri kwibera. So tugiye gufungura mikro, muze kumbwira aho nje nibeshye, kuko nje nizereye muri aya masezerano. Abaza kumbwira ngo siko nabyizeye, nizereye mu ntambara, muze kuza kumbwira. Muze kumbwira ati wibeshye ahangaha ntabwo bizashoboka, urabona ko bitanashoboka, urabona ko nta na 10% na 5% na 3% iragerwaho. Murakoze. Muramanika rero amaboko, hanyuma tugende twumva umwe ku wundi. Abadashoboye politike mwari muri by'amadini, you are free to go. Abo tuvugana muri politike, tuvugana ku bintu byabaye, ahangaha ntabwo tugiye kwibasira, tugiye kugira gute. Reka mbabwire, njye narabasezeranyije, ndababwira ngo M23 n'itsindwa, ntabwo nzaza kubakomera induru. Murabyibuka iyo promise ko njye nari mbizi ko bizagenda. Nibirangira bino bintu, ntabwo nzaza ngo yururu ngo murebe ngo mukozwe n'ito na narabiba promise. Rero ndumugabo ugomba kuza gusa bibaho uko bantu bakaza bakagutuka bakagira gute, bitwa ngo nabafana bayo, ugahita utanga nawe urabashuriye nawe babwiye ibintu. Jewe koze ibi bintu tubimazemo imyaka 30, ntabwo ndi umujene mutoya. Ukuntu byagiye bikurikirana hari byo nanjye nafanye, nzi ngo araho bizagera. Ari nayo mpamvu ubu ngubu mwabonye ntigeze nza gupfana ko nabonaga nabyo ko ntaho bizajya, bizarangira gutya biri kurangira. Niyo mpamvu ntaza kuza kubakomera. Abenshi hano baza kuza kudutuka n'abajene ba 22 za 23 za 24, batazi n'igihe Nkunda yafatiwe, batazi n'igihe RTD yabereyeho, batazi afdele ngo nibiki. Arabana bagiye bavukira mu makande refugee, bavukiye mu mahanga, bavukiye nahe. Abo ngabo je iyo ugiye guhangana na politiquement, muterana amagambo mu bya politique, atazi na wewe yumva ko intambara ya mbere ngira ngo ibayeho, kuko bakubwira barakubwira ngo ngo nta cyama kigeze gukomera nka M23. Kabwira uzi ibihe bindi, wabonye ibihe bindi, ubayeho ryari, waje usanga afite 24. Iyi ngiyi yabaye mediatize cyane mu gihe social media yakomeye, buri muntu wese afite ijambo, buri wese afana agafanira kuri social media, mugira ngo nicyo cyama cyakomeye, haba za RTD za RTD 3/4 y'igihugu, haba za NDP yari ikomeye. Abantu barayifanaga, ariko nyine mukayifanira mu kabare, mukayifanira ku marigara, nta social media yari hari. Haba M23 nayo nuko abantu igihe umuvandimwe yarastaga mugenzi wiwe bakicana bakamarana. Haza rero ingihi iri muri ibi bihe twatangiye gutinyuka kuvuga, ukavuga ibyo utumva, bati ibingibi ntabwo je mbyumva, ibi nta kigenda. Aho abantu nyine batakumva nabo bakavuga ati wowe uri umuntu mubi, uri umwanzi w'ubwoko, uri umugome, uri kurwanya ko dufata igihugu cyacu tugakatamo Kongo. Umuntu nyine akazana uburakari bwiwe. kuba free biranga bagashaka abantu bose ngo mutekereze kimwe kwa Fabinho afite amadini y'abandi akayagira zero iryo karya afite imbere te komsta nibyo turimo nibyo bihe turimo noneho nje nkeneye njyewe nizereye mu masezerano kuba byatangira naravuze ngo ntago nzavuga ngo barasiye aha hafashwe aha bahambuye aba bakubistaba ndabwira nge ngikuzanya mbariza update iki y'amasezerano azatugeza ku mahoro ingenda nzibahereza bagiye Doha bavuye Doha bageze aha bagiye Washington bavuye Washington nkabitukirwa nabyo nta muntu natase abitukirwa nkagira gute none njyewe nizera ko twageze muri ateristage uze kuza kumbwira ati uribeshya kuri ibi bice bingana gutya nta hantu turi kujya murakoze tugiye kugenda twumva mugisha rero ko ari we wamanitse n'ubundi tukava mu by'amadini ari we wamanitse reka tubanze twumve mugisha tuze kumva observer and then dukurikizeho Floribert murakoze
niba urafata umwanya abandi ndaza mu nyuma
manura ku kaboko ni kararuka none ku kaboko kawe manitse
naribonye
observer
oui Saint-Jacques
none se Saint-Jacques akabazo gatoya akabazo gusa uratekereza ko hari la fin de la guerre sans na M23 itari yagira ikintu isinya na leta ya Congo
uraza kuza gufata umwanya uvuge tuze kuza gusubiza ko nabanambuye deja observer ngiye gusubiza
ok merci Saint-Jacques bon Saint-Jacques en tout cas je crois que on avait parlé en ligne hein? C'était dans ce space ici là tu n'as pas menti sur présent.
Est-ce que je peux te demander un faveur s'il te plaît?
Oui
si tu peux parler en anglais
ok
je pas beaucoup déjà ici parle anglais que français.
Okay, no, it's better. Yeah, it's I'm even more comfortable. Yeah. So I was saying, you're definitely telling the truth. I think it's a couple of months ago when we were, when was it? I think some event had happened, and then we bet that this war was going to be done very soon. We gave each other, I don't know if I should call it an appointment or whatever in a couple of months to see if the war is over. So I had said that this war is not over and it's not going anywhere. But you say that it will be a gradual thing, but these accords will come to fruition eventually. And you will not mock us, you will not make fun of us. Thank God you're not making fun of us yet. Hopefully you don't do it tomorrow. And it's true, it's possible that this war can be done with this. I mean, who is M23 to fight America and so on? But somehow, I still have my conviction that this war is not over. Because I see how, for instance, things are turning out in terms of like communication. When you see how our ex-president is coming and trying to involve himself in this whole process. When you see our current president, how he's busy reminding people that they are watumishi, they are house helpers of Rwanda, and they're not Congolese, and those kind of. So you see that it's someone who's speaking from some point of confidence. He's confident that he's got control. And then you've got someone else who sees the danger of it and is getting involved. So I think, for me, not to say much, but I think the conflict is still going on. Maybe Rwanda will pull out its help, whatever defensive measure it has, which is, in my opinion, must be some troops on the ground, few maybe that come in and go out, then some logistics, some intelligence. Maybe gradually will go down. But when I see the tension of this conflict, the players, I still feel like this will go on one way or another. It will be a bit more disorganized. Maybe M23 will lose its grip. But the disorder is still going on, and somehow, some way, the conflict will go on. So keep your promise. Don't come in a couple of months. And by the way, I think you had given me 4 or 6 months. The space was recorded. I don't know if we're already on 6 months. If we are there, then I must have won. You owe me a champagne or something. But if I was wrong, just don't make fun of us. Because some of us believe that this war, although we are tired of it, well, in my opinion, I've always thought that people are not tired of war because they haven't suffered enough. So they should suffer enough for them to say that, look, enough is enough. Let's deal with these problems. Let's try to find long-term solutions, which the accord itself is trying to bring. But internally, I think people are still not responsible enough to assure that, this kind of conflict don't gradually rise. But yeah, that's all I have to say, Saint-Jacques. But you're true to your words. You've always said that these accords will stop this conflict. I'm not sure when, but apparently that's where it's heading. But just as, like we're saying, talking a couple of minutes ago, Kwaya's belief, I still have a belief that this will go on for a couple. In fact, it could even get worse in a couple, 2-3 months.
Oh, thank you. I know there's the plan, blah 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 blah, but urabizi ko ntabwo ndi kubasereza ko icyo nifuza nuko amahoro yaboneka muri Kongo. Ntabwo nifuza intambara, ko hariho abantu bizerera mu ntambara kubera ko bicaye muri pizza na za baga batari muri Kongo. Birirwa bazivugira hano kuri rezo bashyuwelinga intambara. Urumva, njye ntabwo nifuza intambara, nifuza ko haba amahoro, Kongo igatera imbere, ikabana n'u Rwanda, ikabana na Uganda, ikabana n'u Burundi mu mahoro. Abaturage bakiga, abajene bakiga, tukareka kuzuza amakambi mu karere, amakambi yoreshije, ahubwo tukuzuza amayuniversite n'ibibuga by'indege n'ibiki na development. Ibyo nibyo njye nifuza kuri Kongo. Abaturanyi bakabana, bagasabana imbabazi, ibyabaye bikarangira. That's what I need. Urumva, nta muntu njyewe n'umwe mbona umuntu nk'umurozi uza kuza gushaka intambara ngo ikomeze. Wifuza ko intambara ikomeza utayirimo. Njyewe murambabwira, hari umugabo bita Fidele Rugabo. Fidele Rugabo yambwira ati nkeneye ko intambara ikomeza. Arayizi, azi umuziki wayo. Kandida wa anytime kuba yaraswa ko ari ku rugamba. Uwo ngo aje akambwira. Ariko Claudine cyangwa Observer, muje mukamera mu mapambano yataendelea, ngo nibyo twifuza, waba uri umurwayi wo mu mutwe niko mitangufata. Nanjye mbikoze niko mbanifata. Ariko apana gusa mwebwe nabo duhuje n'abitekerezo, njye ntabwo tujya twumvikana. Kubera iki kintu babura ati nibavamo badakubitwe ngo Kongo bafite neza uburyo batazongera kandi kugira. Urumva ngo arifuza intambara bikomeza, yambuka igere no mu Rwanda. Do you understand? Kutakadomo, tu vois? Uwo umuntu wizerera mu mara y'abantu kumeneka. Ariko je nizerera ku meza, n'ubundi izo ntambara zikaba. Singiye Iran na Amerika, ibihugu bikomeye niba ari kurimbagurana. Ariko ajya kumvanyujemo ngo we agree to this fire and then we'll discuss blah 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 blah. Ukumva harimo kuganira, harimo ibiganiro, harimo kuzaganira, n'ubundi byose birangira ku meza. Kubera iki mutabikora bwa mbere yuko mwicana? That's what I believe. I believe nuko ngoje mbyizera na myizerere yanjye ko intambara zirangira ku meza no ku mpapuro. Ibyo rero Observer kuvuga ngo uri kubona turabizi Kabila ngo ari planning, ari ntago niba utanabizi ugenda ubwire iba umwana avugana, niba mu muvugana wegeranye na Kabila no muri ntago bamukeneye muri ibi bintu, nareba nabi bazamuriramo. barabibona ko ari gushaka akeneye barabirebera hafi ko ntabyo bakeneye abanyamerika bashaka kuza gucuruza muri Congo ntabyo bakeneye Kabila muri system. Observe for your information, Kabila bigitangira n'aya masezerano abanyamerika bashaka gufata iyi deal y'amabuye, Kabila yatumye ba Olivier Kamitatu kugenda gukomanga like lobbying stuff, barabirukana. We don't need you anymore. Wakoranye n'abashinwa uraduhemukira, we don't need you anymore. Uri umupante w'abashinwa. Niba rero byutekereza ngo RDF yavamo hariya namwe mugakora imbaraga zanyu, I don't believe ko byashoboka. Second, umunsi M23 ikibazo bambajije cya kabiri, ndetse ngurabona intambara yarangira ngo M23 bayidasinye. No, ntabwo ariko ngiye mbyizera. M23 zicara ku meza na DRC, Amerika nibi controller, ariko Amerika irakare ko Amerika irongera ikavuga ngo M23 musubire aho muri, musubire hariya kugira musubire ku meza ibiganiro. Niba ari Uvira mwafashe musubire muri 75 km musubire Kamanyola kugira ngo twende twahereze chance yo kuganira na Congo nayo akaba ari byo yifuza. None njyewe ndinde mu gihe M23 ivuga ngo turi kuva mu bice twari turimo kugira ngo twubahirize amasezerano, hanyuma naza kubwira ngo ya ntabwo bishoboka ngo kubera ko ngo bazarangira. Nje ntabwo ndi umu emotionnaire uko agendera kuri ibyo, ngendera ku bintu byanditse. Niba nsoma ibintu byanditse ngenda gendera ku emotion kubera ko akunda M23. Uvuge ngo M23 yarangiye, no, bafite ibyo ntabwo bazirukanka ngo birukanke. Ndabizi abantu duje nabo umurongo bamwe kumva ndi kuvuga nabi kuri iki kintu. Bazabicaza babicaranye, abahabwa ibyo bahabwa babihabwe, ariko intambara irangire. Tile nuko intambara irangira, ngiye kuganira abakongomani bari muri M23 kuganira na leta bakarangiza ikibazo bakinjira muri leta, ntacyo bintwaye. Ntacyo bintwaye. Makenga yarakoze ibyaha bakamuhanira ibyaha yakoze, ntacyo bintwaye, ntago namuririra. Atarabikoze bakamuhereza ibyo akeneye, nabyo ntacyo bintwaye, nuko amahoro aboneka. Urumva? So Floribert, ijambo ni ryawe.
murakoze muranyumva?
Ego turakora.
Murakoze cyane kuri space. Hari ibyo nanjye natekerezaga ko genda naza gukora space mu kanya, ariko si ngombwa kuko n'uwo mwanya ntawo, ahubwo twafatiraho yindi by'umunsi yumvaga yaza ku space
tukakuruhuka ndacyarushe.
ntabwo ndi kukumva.
Ndavuze ngo ndacyafite umunaniro w'urugendo, ndaza kwifunga mu kanya nawe ngo
ntabwo ari byinshi n'ubundi ni ibintu bikeya. Ibyo gusoza kw'intambara byo nta argument rwose bifiteho, ko niko mbyemera ko intambara iri gusoza. Ahubwo ikinteye impungenge numvaga nakorera space yenda kugira ngo tubifatanye n'iki ngiki wateguye, ni ukwibaza ngo iyi ntambara ishoje nk'uko n'izindi zagiye zisoza, birumvikana, ariko hakorwa iki kugira ngo itazongera kubaho? Yenda icyo natekereje, bene wacu muri Kivu, hari iwacu muri za Masisi, Rumangabo n'ahandi, n'iwanyu muri Side, dufitemo umugabane w'abantu bari kubona iyo byerekeza ko M23 inaniwe na MRDP, bakaba bahuye na bya bindi bavuga ngo ni ugukubita igihwereye, kuko leta y'u Rwanda yashoboye kubakumvisinga ko umwanzi w'u Rwanda ari uwawe.
uwo mwanzi w'u Rwanda akaba leta ya Kongo akaba na FDLR nabo nuko biri mu bwenge bwabo ko abo banzi babiri nabo babaye abanzi babo ku buryo nk'ubu batibaze uburyo wowe witwa umututsi witwa umunyamurenge ugaherera mu ruhande rw'umwanzi wacu. Iyo mentality ntabwo irahinduka, nicyo kibazo. Bivuze ngo nubwo RDF ishobora kwambutsa umupaka, abanyamerika bakanashyira n'ikoranabuhanga ryo kugenzura ko izi ngabo zitazongera kwinjira muri Kongo, byashoboka ko badashobora kwinjira muri Kongo bambaye uniform n'imbunda bakanyura ku mupaka bambaye civile, kuko n'ubundi telefone communication niyo ishobora kurenga umupaka kandi nta buryo USA ishobora kuyikontorora. N'ubundi hakurya niba hasigaye makenga kuko we bamwemera ko ari umukongomani, ariko n'ubundi ngabo afite zo kudestabilizinga kiriya gihugu akaba yazikura mu Rwanda. Nanone n'amahugurwa amabwiriza y'ibyo ari bukore kuri telefone bakaba yo batayafungira umupaka. Ibyo nibyo ndi kwibaza. Ibi bigiye gusoza nk'uko n'ibindi byagiye bisoza, ariko hakorwa iki kugira ngo aka kajagari katazongera kugaruka, especially bene wacu kuko batari bumva ikibazo cy'izi ntambara ngo ziza gute kandi wabikora wiki. Ngiye kugeza iyi saha ndi ku rwego rwo kutaburemenga u Rwanda, ntabwo kuri sange nzongera no gutera mu u Rwanda, ahubwo ndibaza uburyo bene wacu twagize ubwenge buke ko tuba ibikoresho inshuro ya mbere, iya kabiri, iya gatatu, na n'ubu tukaba tutari twabyumva. Nshingiye kuri reaction mbona badushyiraho muri society. Ejo bundi wumvise Moise Nyarugabo avuga ngo bari abagabo mwabonye bagiye Burundi ngo n'imiryango yabo yarangije gukora ikiriyo. Urumva iyo mentality y'umuntu w'umugabo muzima? Ntibaze niba abagabo banarigiye mu ishuri bikanyobera. Ubu ubwe nka Moise Nyarugabo n'abari abagabo ubu uri gutekereza neza ninde
wadukuye muri topic agiye muri
akana bakwiye muri topic
wadukuyemo watujyanye muri ya matiku yacu yo guterana amagambo yacu n'abantu, imyumvire yabo, imyizerere yabo.
ngaho subira kuri topic wenda umbwira icyo wifuzaga twaganiraho.
Kandi nabisobanuye byose. Ngewe ngezeho mvuga umuntu ngo wagira gutya, navuze handitse uku turi kubona M23 muzayo, turabona ko iri kubahiriza ibyo bari kwitaba, turabona leta ko iri gukora ibyo iri gusabwa. Nabisobanuye imbere yuko dutangira topic, ariko ahangaha reka mbwire nuza kuvuga ngo Nyarugabo abandi baraza kuvuga ngo Akagara. Twe tuvuye ku bintu by'igihugu bireba igihugu kiri big, tugende kuba individu batahindura ikintu na kimwe mu gihugu, cyangwa batahindura ikintu na kimwe muri aya masezerano. Ntabwo nari guciye mu ijambo kubera ikindi nicyo ngicyo narambwira ngo ugaruke kuri icyo kintu.
Birumvikana uri kumva afite icyo yenda yabivugaho muri icyo cyerekezo yafata mikoro. Urakoze.
Ibyo byose ntuze gutekereza ko ngucecekesheje, nariho nshaka tugume muri iyo lane. Urumva Claudine, ndabona ari wamanitse ikiganza. Wagarutse mu bya Kongo kandi
baramutse nawe?
Aramutse neza.
Ufite ngira ntabwo nari nzamutse kubera mbaye interpere n'ibyo byaba bavuze ngo people have not suffered enough. First of all, I wonder, where do you live? Do you live in Congo? Or do you live in nearby countries? Because only in Africa do we find human life means nothing as long as you reach your
Chloe, let me interrupt you.
No, there's no need to interrupt. You can let me finish and then
you mustn't take statements out of the context. Okay, you must judge the tone of someone talking. You must kind of try and see the sarcasm or the message behind, not even the sarcasm. So I mean, why does a child not touch fire? Because fire burns. You have to know when to stop. We have to learn from experience. No. So don't try to. None of us here doesn't know the impact of war or how bad it is.
Okay. So do you think the people who suffer, the women, the children, the elderly, the men, they have a choice in the war, or is it imposed on them? Does it fall on them?
No, it falls on them, of course.
All right, so they don't have a say, and those are the people who suffer. The actual actors, they are fine, man. They get like 50 pounds. Like when I see people there in Goma, they are all like in good life. They are living their best life. They are driving the V8, the Hammers and all that stuff. So the people didn't choose war. So that's why it's time for us Africans to actually love our people. Right? Like you talk about the but that's what I wanted to say. Like it's enough. It's enough to people.
No, I get it.
And the last thing I wanted to say is the interview by New York Times. What's his name? Kabila did, and then he said he hasn't read the Washington Accords, or he was in the cave. He was doing his PhD. He hasn't read 10 pages. So that shows you where he is with the basically. I mean, I don't know how much power he has. Thank you. I gotta go. Bye.
All right, Sandra, mind if I clear up a little bit? I think even you I think you took the statement the wrong way. I mean, no one in his right mind would want to see suffering going on. But what I'm referring to, I think Floribert also must have touched it. Although he touched it, I'm guessing he's blaming some people specifically. But I'm saying it's not right for this to go on for 30 years. And it's definitely even worse if it stops and then starts again. Right? So my statement of people haven't suffered enough, it's, I guess, the sarcasm enough, a bit of evil sarcasm. But the truth of the matter, if something keeps on repeating and repeating, and we see the actions that cause them, then there's definitely something wrong happening there. So if people are not learning from the history is not teaching them well enough. I think that's where I was approaching, but of course anyone in his right mind doesn't want to see any killing going on.
Thank you, Mr. Observer. I don't know how old are you, but I hope that you're still young, right? You're young.
Young, a bit young enough and old enough, I think, somewhere there in the middle.
All right. Yeah, reka rero twisubire rero kuri nuza yacu. Ndi guhereza ijambo abantu bamanitse ibiganza, ndabona nta muntu wamanitse ikiganza, ubwo rero ndaza.
Nakimanitse gihe sasa.
Yeah. Ko nabikire kibona. Yes, ready. Ikibazo cyawe cyari ikihe?
Ikibazo cyanjye wagisubije en quelque sorte ariko reka ngire intervention yanjye. Ikibazo ubundi cyanjye nari ndi kukubaza, mbese ubona uravuga ngo intambara yarangiye hatari haba amasezerano na M23 nyine ari sinye, ibintu biri clear. Bon, nanjye ndi umupacifiste, ntabwo nizerera mu ntambara uko iri kose. Ntabwo nifuza nk'umunyafurika, ntabwo nifuza ko turwana hagati yacu tugakora twicana. Ndifuza amahoro nyine, cyane cyane mu gihugu gikomeye kandi cy'inkingi ya mwamba muri Afurika nka Kongo. Abanyekongo mbifuriza amahoro mu buryo burambye kandi buhoraho. Gusa bon, amasezerano twarayakurikiranye, ngira ngo njye nawe hari ibintu twagiye dusharinga, hari ibintu byari biri biteguwe, ariko nkaba mbona bitari kugenda wenda uko bigiye byanditse bimwe na bimwe. Bon, ariko intambara ishobora kurangira kubera ko Abanyamerika bafite inyungu zabo bagomba kudefanda barimo kwihutasha kuza gucukura amabuye ariko hari facteur eshatu ndi kubona zigiteye impungenge ziteye inkeke iya mbere ni facteur yitwa FDLR ubwo nabonye leta ya Kongo yaratanze apeli ivuga iti abatazigira tugiye kubarwanya kandi nabo bavuze ko batazashyira intwaro hasi iyo akaba ari indi ntambara nayo igiye kuzakomeza muri biriya bice hakaza facteur ya kabiri y'abazarendo intwaro nyinshi zahawe abantu b'abasivile wenda ushobora kumbwira uti hazabaho dezarmoma n'iki cyangwa abantu bamwe babetegere mu ntoki ariko nabyo ni point ikomeye itazoroha kugira ngo bari abantu bashyira intwaro hasi bitewe n'akarere n'uko gateye n'inyungu bagiye bavanamo ndetse na ideoloji bafite ndetse navuga ngo ikisi n'ibisigarizwa sinzi niba ko nabyita by'intambara bizasaba igihe kirekire kugira ngo icyo kibazo gikemuke facteur ya gatatu ni abakombata ba M23 kuko kugeza ubu nyine niho ntabwo ndi kubona accord risinye barimo baragenda basubira inyuma n'iki ariko bo bazajya he bazafatwa gute nabo bishobora atari ikintu kibaye kidafashwe neza hashobora kuzazamo ikibazo cy'abo bantu ahantu ikintu bazabikira kuko niba batabaye integre cyangwa se badatsinzwe militeroma hazaba niyo wanatsindwa militeroma hazazamo ikibazo cy'ahantu bazajya ahantu bazaba bari kuko nabo ni abantu bafashe intwaro bamenyereye n'ubwo buzima bwo mu ntambara n'iki byose icyo kibazo rero kikaba nacyo mbona kitari addressed hari n'indi po wenda nayo igoye ya nyuma abanyamerika bo isanfu mu gihe wenda hari uwo mutekano niyo waba uri precaire baza ugatwara amabuye yabo ariko hari ikindi kibazo nacyo gikomeye cy'abaturage hagati yabo mbese iyi ntambara uko izarangizwa biratuma abaturage babana mu buryo burambye cyangwa nabyo hazazamo wenda izo conflit interethnique population ku buryo uzasanga wa mutekano twashakaga ya mahoro hagati y'abaturage nayo ari ikintu kiri aho ngaho ari nk'uko ufata igisebe nyine utacyomoye ugahita ukubitaho igipfuko nibyo mbona sinzi niba wenda ibyo hari ibisubizo tubona birambye cyangwa se ari turi gukora mu nyungu z'abandi tutabanje kureba izacu kugira ngo twubake amahoro arambye murakoze
urakoze Ray twumve Teddy
yes thank you nagiye mu kazi gato icyo ngomba kuvuga ni uko numvise umuntu avuze imbere y'uyu nguyu jewe par experience ibyo nzi ko nabaye kuri field umwanya munini cyangwa nk'iriko kuva Bunagana kugera Uvira na Barakata nibaza ko tuzongerayo kubera kuri jewe histoire y'akarere irakenewe kumva ikintu information majeure abo bantu bariko baravuga ngo abantu bariko barapuja afande avuze ati muve hano mugende kuri 50 km cyangwa 70 cyangwa 40 cyangwa 20 muve hano mujye hariya abazi impamvu intambara ni jeu d'échec abahungu bari ku rugamba je tumaze kubana igihe twabona voyage ensemble twaguwe no muri ambush hamwe ndababona ingene bakora urabona ingene bigenza, urabona ko bafite discipline, urabona ko nta n'itabi banywa, nta n'inzoga banywa, ntaki. Ikintu nabwira abantu bariko baripampaza kubera amamuvuma ariko arabubu ntibashake bariki. Nafanda desida uriyo ufite igisirikare kizima, c'est la capacité de déplacement. Adui uko bamwita dufate kugenda umumenyesha makuru, adui bazomukubita mpaka. Nta bintu biri kuvuga ngo intambara yashize abantu bajya muri cantonnement ngo nibiki. Hari ubwenge bwa politiki, hari ubwenge bw'abakada. Abakada nibo basensibiliza Rwanda, donc abanyagihugu. Hanyuma hakaba ubwenge bwa militaire en fait, military wing. Bazi ubwenge, bafite experience. Amafanda ariyo n'abantu barwanye bavuye mu nkambi z'impunzi, abana bariyo bafite imyaka ihagije kugira ngo barwane. Imyaka mito n'abana baguruka giye tumaze gutambukana nabo ndenda gupfa kubera umutima rukuvamo, kubera ritme iriho, kubera umusozi uhanamye, cyangwa kubera ikintu kiriya. Genda bikora kubera I didn't cover the Rwandese struggle kuko ntabwo nari journalist à l'époque. Mugabo, there's a struggle going on against three things. Security for people. Muri zone za M23 hari security. Bareke kubesha bavuga ibyo batazi. Uyo muntu yari kuvuga azaze duhurireyo, azamega gahunda namwitorere ku mupaka. Shaka biri ni development. Bari gukora imihanda, nabonye umuhanda uva Kamanyora ujya Uvira bawusubiyemo, nawo nyuzemo ejo bundi umugongo wenda kuvunika. Urumva ntabwo numuze ariko ndacyakomeye, ariko wari umuhanda mubi. Bari kuwukora umuhanda ugenda Ruaya, umuhanda ugenda Masisi, umuhanda ugenda Petit Masisi, umuhanda ugenda Bwiza, bari kuyikora. So abo bantu bavuga ibyabo, abantu ntibashobora kwemera kuva muri 60 batotezwa, ata muntu bitabara bo nyine. Ibindi byose c'est de la théorie. Kuri terrain abahungu bari tayari, barabuja. Afana babwiye ati vanga hamugenda hariya, baragenda. J'ai des bintu que j'ai expérimenté, j'ai des images kandi turi kumwe nabo. So abantu babwizwa kumenya yuko kwitabara akongera ko n'ikibazo cyo mu murenge cyazanye confusion yantuze ya discours uko abantu bamwe bagiye kureba Ndayishimiye, abandi nabo bariko barigwanaho bari mu misozi. Nabo nyene ntacyo bazaba, bazitabara n'abandi bazabatabara kugira ngo ntibahone. Kandi nta mufu rero, nta mubembe, nta muki bakoraho. Sud Kivu iri complexe parce irimo ama-communauté menshi n'indimi nyinshi. Ugeze uhagaze Ruvungi, uhagaze Sange, uhagaze Kiriba, ubwoko bari ubundi.
Ugana ku musozo.
Yes, yes, nagaje ku musozo. Cyane ngomba kuvuga navuga ni yitonde. Intambara igitangira, iratangiye. Ni intambara ni afande wabo adeside ati wewe buja bataliyone wijyane hariya, cyangwa bujindi bataliyone uyihindure hariya, ugahindura configuration naduye agatumutwe. Nibyo nagomba kuvuga, ariko mwe ni mutumutwe mushira umutima mu nda. Abahungu bari bien. Thank you.
Babwire ndamuretse propaganda yo aratambukije. Mbese ko abandi nagiye mbagarura, nagaruye umuvandimwe Floribert. Numva ashaka kudukura muri topic, ariko muza ko Teddy we akeneye intambara. intambara kwikomeza nyine birumvikana ntabwo ari igihugu cyiwe n'abari gufata bene wabo ntacyo bimutwaye we najya gukavaringa nyine wamayiti araronka bene umujurnaliste nyine none se yakora gute atari intambara abantu batari gupfa urumva birumvikana ngiye ku kazi kiwe vraiment iramwemerera ko intambara irangiye nyine ntabwo byagenda neza kazi wenda hindurirwa ariko hariyo wenda hari amaprime menshi turabona kubera ko wagiye ukavaringa abantu bari gupfa ariko nkaba nibuka nanone mbere y'ubujurnaliste ko ari umuhanga ari umu intellectuel atapande niwe udesida apande akadesida ati mwumve musubire muri 50 kilometre musubire muri 60 kilometre kandi akababuja muvaho mugeze kubera iyo hari rotation abantu bagenda basimburwa n'abandi noneho tukareba iyi vage niki cyayiteye yatewe ni kugira ngo abantu bagenda bava mu duce turenga 10 n'ubu bitararangira bigikomeza katubwira ngo intambara n'inaendelea ngo nta kibazo okay twizere ko nta kibazo njye nta bintu byinshi nshaka kuba kuri tede reka twumva abandi greetings Mr. Stanley reka twumve yes we can the floor is yours and then kumva manzi
ego Mr. Saint-Jacques merci kukanyumaye hama Jane nibaza kuri topic no kubibazo tubajije ko nanje ndi umuntu pacifique mashaka ko amahoro aboneka mu karere muri uwo murongo urimo kuvuga ati naho amahoro yoboneka ntiri muri babandi bavuga ati M23 bayikubite bakureho babashikane n'u Rwanda canke abajya murongo uvuga ati dukubite Kisekedi cha dukubitana neva urumva mu genda murongo wo kwibihugu bitatu tubana mu mahoro tukabana tuzuzanya tukagira kuko ni inyungu kuri twese sindi muri uwo murongo wo mu ntambara n'usetedi ariko aravuga ati afande nwagire kanjere kuri topic bivanye na sinzi ko aciye de semaine yanamiheruka Washington ya Bulosi charitse u Rwanda na Congo twarabonye ko ari ibintu byahindutse ibe kuri politike abimvugo zo muri Congo Kinshasa urabona ko zahinduye declaration ya chef d'état major wa Congo twarabonye ko byahindutse turabona no ku Rwanda tuvuga gukura ingabo sinzi we ko tedeho yo bavyemera ko zinariyo twarabonye ko habaho gusubira inyuma turabona na Uganda itangaza ati directement nayo ko lo 3 namba 4 zabakuye ingabo ariko amatsiko yanje canke ikibazo mfise kica kigaruka handi nyene kuko urabona ubu u Rwanda kuva kera muri diplomasi di private nuko no byita tatari private nyeka bari muri zo nama ariho bemera igituma ari muri Congo bari hanze diplomasi abe duhungire abe mu binyamakuru bikomeye yari wabona ko asigura ati twe dufise basic de defense ku mupaka ibiki none nica kibazo nyine cyangwa nibaza bizogenda gute kwemeza amakungu kandi ko bakuyeyo ingabo muri Congo tukibona imvugo nk'izi za Teddy canke z'abandi ba F7 canke abandi nyene bakade bashobora kukubara ati two duhinduramo ingabo tuzishira hariya na hariya ukabona ko batari ni kibazo gusa cyane nibaza iyo credibility zoboneka gute ku ruhande rw'u Rwanda kwemeza ayo makungu twe twakuyeyo ingabo ubu nibikituraba na za mesures de défense nkuko twabisabye twazikuyeyo hama ku ruhande rwa Congo nyene ikindi kibazo cyanibaza bizogenda gute bavuga ati FDLR twarayejeje nabo bavuga ati ziriho n'imvugo ya politiki umva ni bibazo cyanibaza nacavuga ati yes
uri kunyumva
ego
okay ndashaka kubaza ikibazo Teddy ashinzwe iki muri guverinoma y'u Rwanda?
Sinzi kubera umva imvugo pete nama ndamubona we nama ari kumwe nabo kenshi petete.
Ntumbwire ngo Teddy Mazina ashinzwe iki muri M20?
Nta na kimwe.
Wowe hari icyo ushinzwe muri guverinoma y'u Burundi?
Oya nta na kimwe.
Hari icyo ushinzwe muri guverinoma ya Kinshasa?
Oya nta na kimwe.
So wahe tumva ko umuntu ashaka kugira ibitekerezo byo no mubonere mu gihugu cyangwa mu mubonere muri parti politique runaka? Yarara ku muri unyumve kwanza. Bina yavuze baramuzi.
Oya.
Kubera iki wumva ngo ibintu Amerika izabyizera gute? Amerika ifite ukuntu kwayikora, ifite ukuntu ibireba, ifite ukuntu jobs observing. Bitari byo kuri space, ntabwo byumvira kuri space.
Yeah, thanks. Urumva je n'utwo tubazo nyene caribaza ariko ndizera ko twabonye ubu n'imvugo ko zatanguye guhinduka ku ruhande rwa Kongo n'u Rwanda naho narabona ku ruhande rwa A7 imvugo kiriya indi nyene reka twizera ariko ndizera ko amahoro azoboneka kuko Amerika yo urabona ko yaje mu nyene ifise mu kuboko kandi je mu irondera inyungu kandi inyungu yayo ikabikeneye amahoro n'umutekano muri Kongo kuri bose. Reka twizere ko ibintu bizohinduka reka twihakanya turaba ariko ndabyizera cyari cyo gusana nutwo tubazo gusa guba nibaza peut-être reka turindire igihe nico kizoduhenyisha.
Urakoze. Mr. Stanley, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Sanjak.
Yeah, actually last time I asked a question about the foreign minister of Rwanda, and then I thought it went viral. They cut that part.
Mm-hmm.
You said, and then they put it on social media. I saw it last time. I was, oh, wow. Anyway, how are you? How is everything? So I think you can read the topic and understand, right?
Yes. You say I'm understand, and the war is over in the DRC. Yeah, so I can understand that, and yeah. So one of my friends from Reuters News, he wrote an article that the Congolese government has started to disarm the FDLR, which is a good news, and I think it's also part of the Washington Agreement for the FDLR to disarm, and for all the warring party, including Wazaleno, to disarm, and for the Congolese army to take over. But there is something that is very much important, even to bring the conflict to an end. So while Congo is also making some effort to disarm the FDLR, which we see in the news, and most of the FDLR people were born in 1994 or after 1994. That is according to the United Nations, not me. The UN said most of the FDLR fighters are very young. They were born before or after the genocide now. So it is very important for both Rwanda and DR Congo to work together to make sure that these people are rehabilitated and reintegrated within the society, because there is no military solution to it. And some of them cannot be charged or tried for genocide in Rwanda because they were born either during the genocide or after the genocide. So you cannot hold a 26 years old man that were born in 1993 and accuse him of genocide in Rwanda. No. So what needs to be done is to make sure that these people are rehabilitated, maybe open trade school for them where they can learn new skills, maybe carpentry, building, construction, and to make them more useful in the society. That will require both Rwanda and DR Congo working together, because Rwanda has said that there are FDLR in the DR Congo, and the FDLR are Rwandese genocides who are threatening the existence of Rwanda. This is what the foreign minister said. So if they agree that FDLR are Rwandese, then the Rwandese government also have the responsibility of working with Congo to rehabilitating their citizens and not just leaving the responsibility on the Congolese. That's number one. Number two, the Rwandese government need to make sure that they withdraw their troops, from DRC, that hasn't been done. Of course, I saw
there's a campaign where where we can see the military. We don't know either they're from M23 or they are RDF. We saw them moving. They are leaving. Where they are moving from place to place. We don't know where they're heading. We don't know if they are heading to Goma, and actually we are just seeing the movement, right? This campaign started, and then when we see the population videos, villages say here this was the barrack of M23 and the Rwandan troop, but they already left, so we don't know where they went. We don't know where they went, but there is this campaign, I think. So,
yes, I saw that article in the Guardians, and then my friend from BBC Africa, Jamal Husman, was also talking about that. I mean, but here is the thing, though. Rwanda and the M23 got to be honest about their movement. You see, Congo actually won peace. And so when they are disarming the FDLR, it is done public. They bring UNESCO, MONUSCO, they bring SADC, they bring all of the international observers to serve as a witness. So if Rwanda is doing the same, it has to be clear. Everyone got to know where their troop is going, and then if the M23 is disarming, because M23 say they are Congolese, they have to disarm to the Congolese government. All of these things has to be in place, and it has to be done so that people can see. But we see from BBC Africa, they are monitoring the movement of the Rwandese troop. It's not clear as to where they are heading to, whether they are leaving Congo. I mean, if they are leaving Congo entirely and not going to Rwanda, no one knows, right? So these are things that raises red flag as to the implementation of the peace accord. And as we speak, M23 is still in absolute control of Goma and Rubaya and other places. Now, if we are to...
I do have a question, Mr. Stanley. We can see the campaign start of like withdrawing of troops, of Rwandan troops. Actually, if they are just hiding it, we don't know the procedure. Maybe the observer, they are just observing the movement, right? My question is, when the Rwandan troop withdrawn from DRC, don't you believe that there will be like this peace agreement or peace talk between M23? Because some of M23, they are Congolese. So, because we saw like there is a Doha peace agreement that they have to follow the procedure, and there is this Washington Accord. Do you think that when the Rwandan will withdraw their troops from DRC, they won't continue the peace talk in Doha or in Switzerland, as they say that they moved this peace talk from Doha because of this problem in the Middle East, and that they'll send it to Switzerland? Don't you think that they'll move it from the Doha to Switzerland, and then M23 will sit on table with just government to fix their internal issue? What do you think about that?
Yeah, this is what was recommended even in Doha, Qatar, and they say that without Rwandan's troop, there is no M23. M23 has been refusing to negotiate because they have the support of the Rwandan military. So if the Rwandan military move, M23 will be forced to negotiate because they will become weaker. And so, I mean, once the Rwandan military leave, Congo will be able to sit with the M23 and have a peace agreement with them and be able to implement a peace agreement. But with Rwanda's troop on a Congolese soil and giving military support to the M23, it's not going to work. I mean, it's not going to work. The only way it will work is for the Rwandese troop to totally withdraw from Congo's territory, and then Congo and M23 can go to the table and have a peace talk, because M23 says they are Congolese. And so since they are Congolese, they have to talk to the Congolese government. But from what we see here, M23 is taking direct instruction from the Rwandese government instead. So as a result, they don't want to implement a peace deal. So once that military support is withdrawn for M23, they will be forced to negotiate. This is why we are putting more pressure on the Rwandan government to withdraw their troops from DRC.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
No, Teddy, there's many people who want to speak their hands, so you will wait until the others. Enyiringoma, Jambo Nidia. Enar Munyanzesta. Munyanzesta, can you hear me?
Munyanzesta nares apfite.
All right. The next person will be Mr. Maxime.
Ndakuramukije Sanjak.
Ego
ndaramukije n'abari muri iganiro.
Turabugize mutama.
Urumva ndagifatiye hagati n'ubuse bike mugabo ku bwanje tukuyemwo amapropagande hirya no hino nta n'umwe atifuza amahoro, stabilité muri kajya karere. Kubera amahoro abonetse, stability ibonetse, nta bantu basura gupfa, hanyuma bazi ubwoko bwabo, hanyuma peut-être birashobora no kugira ingaruka nziza ku banyagihugu bo mu karere igihe amakompanyi y'abanyamerika aje akaza mitahe yabo bagakora, hari naho uboneka akazi. Donc ni byiza kuri twese. Hanyuma tugiye donc amakoro barasinye, jewe nabisomye ndaja en detail, ndasoma cyane biya vyama minere contre la sécurité. Minere contre la sécurité no kwifata très au sérieux, kubera abanyamerika ndabivuga barakeneye y'amabuye kandi bariko bagwanira n'abashinwa. Abashinwa n'ubu narabonye muri indwi ministre w'amamine yagiye mu Bushinwa gusinyana madira yani makontra. Urumva abanyamerika bariko barabira bati abashinwa kuko bo mu ngwano baguma bakora ingwano ntakibabwiye, baguma bagira ama business sare rapport. Mugabo rero abanyamerika bavuga bati twebwe amakompanyi yacu nakora mu ngwano kuko amateka arabibuza, dukeneye amahoro kugira ngo tuzane amakompanyi akora imitahe yatwara yarondera amabuye y'agaciro kugira ngo barabe ko bogira competition n'abashinwa, kuko abashinwa barabarushije cyane mu bintu by'amabuye y'agaciro. Kandi amabuye y'agaciro murazi cyamaze muri ibi bintu bya AI, donc umuntu azoba yafise niwe azodomina AI, niwe azoba puissance mondiale. Urumva ucumenya what is at stake, umaze kwimvira uko ugacuvuga uti abanyamerika ubwa mbere ikintu cyantangaje cyane muri iyi minsi, ubwa mbere twarabonye ibintu byo kuva muri Uvira, donc certainement ko abaye desapere telefonique baravayo. Mugabo ikintu cyantangaje cyane ni ingene bace bihuta gufata ibihano, nta n'amezi atatu arahera. Donc amasezerano basinye muri December, le 2 mars bakaba bamaze gufata ibihano nk'abiki. Biya bihano ni bihano bikomeye cyane kuko bagukura muri systeme y'amadolari, bakugukupa muri circuit y'amadolari, bakakupa muri circuit ya Swift. Nta bihano bibaho biza bisumba bijya. Ibyo rero bigiye ku gihugu, ku makompanyi akomeye y'igihugu, amabanke, donc ni ibintu bimwe, ni bihano sindamusiga. Donc nenga ndavuga nti bon, écoute, abantu dukuye ngaho iby'amapropagande tugira ku abantu bakora ku ma space, ku ma X, iyo abategetsi babiya bihugu Rwanda cyangwa Kongo iyo bahuye bakabona la situation comment la situation est très sérieuse, baravuga bati ibi bintu tubivamo gute. Ntibaza kuvuga ngo donc amaretorika cyagabanuka parce que bo barabona directement l'impact, kubera baraza amadetail yose bagaca bavuga bati donc il faut trouver une solution. Ni naco gituma tubona ya marotre. Donc amarotre it's not shameful kwirotira, ni ahubwo nubushinga ntahe n'ubugabo wavuze uti bo ekute reka natwe turondera amahoro, tuje hamwe n'abandi turondera amahoro, tubikorere hamwe. Mugabo abo bandi baguma bagira genda nka rero yuko rimwe ngaha ku ma space umuntu arashobora kugira propagande mugabo ntamenyere consequence donc rimwe ama rhetorique arashobora gutuma abantu baba confus donc bigatuma batamenya c'est quoi exactement qui va suivre ugasanga baguye mu mpuriro canke donc il n'y a pas de risque inutile. Donc par exemple nk'ibi bya sudanisation bon au départ je nivyo nabona umengo Kivu yogira independance kugira ngo abatutsi abanyamulenge bapfa bagire mugabo urabona c'était pas l'objectif au fait hari muri yasiguriye ari muri M23 vraiment arabisigura neza avuga ati twebwe urumva kuvaho abakabira baziye bananga baziye nabo basama objectif yabo twaciye twintegra muri plan de lutte. Donc ça veut dire que le plan de lutte n'ikiri nécessairement yo protéger abatutsi avant mais le plan de lutte c'était aller prendre Kinshasa kugira fate ubutegetsi. Donc c'est politique, c'est très politique. Donc rero ni naho utuvuga uti oui on commence à parler de la soudanisation c'est qui donc ça veut dire que l'option si on va pas à Kinshasa on va faire la balkanisation, la soudanisation, dépendamment il y a tellement mon préfère. Mais là aussi, on ne tient pas compte de la force de l'Amérique. J'ai personnellement, bon, urabye nk'ibiriko biraba muri za Iran, muri za Venezuela, harya haye baja kurondera igitoro. C'est le pétrole. Urabona amarisque bafata bagatwara amabombe, bagatwara abantu bagapfa. Donc ça veut dire que no mu maminere turashobora kwisanga turi mu bintu nkabike ugasanga amaminere yateye ingwano nkaziye zo muri Iran no muri Venezuela. Est-ce que vraiment on est prêt à aller jusque là aller se battre n'intuze ko ntibazahebera abashinwa sans aucun doute abanyamerika ntibazohera ry'amabuye muri Kongo abashinwa hazoba ingwano abazosufura ni bande ni twebwe abaturage abanyagihugu bo muri kete karere. Donc rero tubaye sincère avec nous-mêmes tukagira une analyse la tête donc lucide pragmatique turavuga tuti bon comment est-ce qu'on peut faire en sorte que ihonyabwoko gikorerwa abatutsi n'abanyamulenge rihagarara en même temps donc abo banyamerika bakaronka aya mabuye yabo bahagira iyo stabilité. Donc je dis brako ça c'est pour l'intérêt pour tout le monde arrêter le génocide kandi ibindi bintu bitatu bikomeye donc ibindi bibiri bikomeye donc après le génocide qui est la root cause je ndayita root cause numéro 1 kuko hari abantu benshi bakreye business mu kwica abatutsi donc ça veut dire bakreya donc akajagari muri region kari baze kwihonyabwoko bigatuma ayo mabuye y'agaciro bayatwara atacabira atanakibona parce que abantu baba ariko bavuga ibintu biriko biraba abantu bariko barapfa. Donc iyo ni ya mode opératoire yo ma crise y'amakomanya mwamwe aprofita mugabo ikigira kabiri donc iyo économie de guerre vraiment c'est yene ajya ma groupe ya ADF Codeco bajya bica bahema donc muri Ituri baya abantu bose aba FDLR bose ils ont bâti ayo ma groupe yabo sur base ya économie de guerre ibyo bintu byo turabizi. Donc la seule façon yo guhagarika économie de guerre donc ni kuzana stabilité ayo ma groupe kavamo nukuvuga ko M23 ni groupe muzindi hariho n'izindi. Donc ça veut dire que le plan de Trump doit également penser à éliminer les autres groupes za Codeco izo za ADF hariya muri za Ituri n'ahandi na FDLR évidemment FDLR yo yurumva irimo muri accord kwategeza kwigwanya. Donc asanga le dernier point igira gatatu donc navuze génocide navuze économie de guerre le point igira gatatu ni mauvaise gouvernance na corruption. Ibyo we biragaragara hariyo même des projets domine je nanye mvuga lithium y'imanono ariya muri Tanganyika harimo biragaragara ko hariyo mauvaise gouvernance harimo corruption. Donc ibyo navyo n'ikindi kibazo parce que igihe ibyo bya mauvaise gouvernance na corruption quand ça persiste ça va encore créer d'autres rébellions kuko urumva abantu bazorenga mu d'une façon d'une autre babone ko donc utari ku butegetsi ataronka akazi donc na politique itari correct. Donc ibyo bintu bitatu rero nivyo cyane twari dukwiye kudiskita ko muri aya débat tukereva le débat tukagira le débat des intellectuels chevronnés tukadiskita kuri ibyo bintu bitatu koma byo hagarara kugira ngo amahoro aboneke kuri bose twese tube ganya win nta kuvuga ngo ha stabilité ni a personne qui perd nous sommes tous gagnant dans ce sens.
Monsieur Maxime au moins t'as changé on va ouvrir warahindutse kuva kuri kwijana usigaranye no ntabwo tatachanje vraiment kandi ni byiza kuba umupasifika
nahindutse gute no je ngira deba ngira nagura sere facts wowe ni kwera utankurikira neza c'était des faits
oya
M23 ndayishyigikiye me none face à la situation actuelle je ngena nkavuga ngo nibagume Rwanda kandi abanyamerika ariko afata ibihano no M23 ndayishyigikiye no
nyumva neza ubanza unyumve umuhe umaze kubona abanyamerika binjiye muri iki kibazo perspective yarahindutse
effectivement abanyamerika ni bapimye inshanje ni bya
complètement wahise umenya usobanukirwa umenya power yabo umenya nibyo bari kapfa
power yabo ndayizi effectivement je nicyo nibaza ko
merci wewe ntago uri nk'aba bandi baza kuvuga ngo abanyamerika ni bande ngo muri Somalia ngo ntibakuri anyway reka twumve gikwerere are you there Mr. Gikwerere
oya afite mu by'ukuri byo nashaka gushikiriza babishikirije abandi gusa ndabye titre mwashikirije ngaha hejuru muravuga ngo intambara ngo igiye gucureha barabishikirije benshi ko nta mpyifuza intambara kandi iragatsindwa uretse nyine ko ari hamwe umuntu yabuze kuko agira ahemuka nta kundi mugabo iyo muvuga imirwi numva umenga muguma muvuga ya yindi nyine twumva tuzi neza yuko hariho M23 tuzi ko hariho FDLR tuzi ko hari abafasha batandukanye Maxime yaje kuvuga iyindi mirwi itandukanye za Kodeko n'izindi ariko mu by'ukuri gushigikira iyi titre tubona iyindi mirwi ihari kandi atacyo ivugwaho itari no muri convention amasezerano yashize yabaye ariho nkuko menga iyo mirwi ntacyo bayivugaho cyangwa nkuko menga nta kibi izokwangiza cyangwa iza ko yogumaho n'ibyo mu gumenga n'ibyo
les groupes armés baba bavuze
usabwe
iyo bavuze ngo tous les groupes armés
ego
baba bavuze imigwi ibiri tout donc hatavuyemo n'umwe
ego nibyo ariko tuzi neza yuko muri convention hariho imigwi myinshi yaraserukiwe n'itaba yaraserukiwe n'izo za Kodeko sineza ko zaserukiwe ntabwo ndanayizi se ariko nzi neza yuko hari imigwi myinshi abantu benshi bagiye bacanga mu maguru bavuga ati aba ntibaserukiwe bariye ntibaserukiwe kandi tuzi neza yuko nabo bantu bose bafite ama impact ariko birumvikana nimba intambara ikomeye cyane muri Kongo iri hagati ya FDLR na M23 n'abafasha nibo bagomba kuvugwa gusa ibyo rero numva kumenga ntabwo bifudutse neza
urakoze ko host wanjye wari wagize ikibazo cyane twakasinzi ko kigifite Munyanze
uranyuha
ego
ndi mu muhanda ndaje mukanya
all right katurebe façon to speak Fabinho ntabwo amanitse ikiganza Monsieur Fabinho tu veux parler
Oui.
Ok.
Bon. Hari kantu Maxime yavuze ntari d'accord nako Oui. Mais je commence par ça parce que c'est important quand même. En fait, des sanctions ciblées ntago zivuze ko uba uvuye kuri système ya Swift. Simplement, c'est vrai, ça ça complique les choses parce que pour le commerce, etc., comme ça se fait en dollars, il y a plus de vérification, mais personne n'a été enlevé du système SWIFT. Maintenant, l'armistice, en fait, il y a plusieurs scénarios dans cette chose. Je ne vais pas aller dans les autres groupes armés, etc., puisqu'on parle là précisément du retrait du M23. Hashora, quoi, plusieurs scénarios que moi je le vois. Le gouvernement congolais s'est engagé cette année. There is international bodies who are monitoring the dismantling of FDLR. I think that's what he said. If I'm not, si je ne me trompe pas, ça je ne sais pas. Vraiment, je sais qu'il y a eu une annonce et que ce sera assez difficile parce que les FDLR eux-mêmes ne veulent pas se rendre. La question de la paix, parce que beaucoup de gens ont parlé de la paix, bien sûr, tout le monde est pour la paix, mais il faut une paix juste et il faut que le médiateur, entre guillemets, le médiateur, soit aussi juste. Et je pense que il y a eu une réunion le 16 et le 17, et il y a eu une réunion muri ONU, je ntago nzi date exactement, ariko les propos du médiateur n'allaient pas dans le même sens que les accords de Washington. Et ça, je pense que muri situation turimo, situation mondiale en général, iyo umuntu abaye juge et parti, ça peut créer des problèmes à long terme ou même à court terme, surtout que Amerika ifite ibibazo bitari bikeya. Donc, est-ce que la guerre est finie? Umuntu yakwifuza ko iyo guerre iba terminée, évidemment. Nta muntu hano ushyigikiye la guerre, etc., sauf un malade mental. Mais il faut que cette paix soit une paix juste aussi. Et c'est ça le problème, c'est que si le médiateur prend parti, la paix devient une paix imposée, une paix pour les intérêts. Dernière chose, le Congo, personne ne va prendre la majorité il y a ressources naturelles. Donc, les Chinois peuvent être présents, mais aussi les Américains, etc. Mais le problème principal, vraiment, c'est celui d'avoir une paix qui soit une paix juste, pas une paix imposée. Une paix imposée n'amènera que d'autres guerres, à mon sens. Non pas que je le souhaite, mais je le vois comme ça. Je pense que le médiateur doit... Hein?
Le médiateur, il a yafashe uruhande. Ça veut dire nicyo wavuze.
Bien sûr. Mais sa déclaration aux Nations Unies est vraiment scandaleuse. Il a pris il a un parti pris.
Le problème, c'est que njyewe ntabwo ngera njya nkora gutya. Umaze kuvuga merci, njye nangiye kuvuga utangiye kumvugiramo. Non, ça marche pas. Abandi bose ntabwo ndi kubabwira Fabrice ntabwo ari byiza. c'est pas bon ntabwo ari byiza vraiment urumva le médiateur yafashe uruhande sawa katurebe urundi ruhande yafashe bamaze gusinyari le 4 turebe umuntu kugira ngo umumediateri afate uruhande wavyoye amasezerano ya Amerika umumediateri yasinyishije abantu batabirukanyira kujya gufata Uvira agiye munireba namwe mukarebe se twe twakoze ayo makosa umunyamerika ntiyatakuva wabona ko utari steriye twari twiteguye twese ukuntu mwari mwaratwumvise twari Tshisekedi mwesteriye ari uzabyangiza ari we wa mbere uzabyangiza les 4 vous avez signé les 4 si je me trompe pas laissez tous les Uvira ngo Uvira tombe umunyamerika aravuga what mwibagiwe ntabwo ngaho ibintu byose byahindukiye tangira kubashyiraho pressure muhita mugenda kuri hoteli ubundi ibintu byose our brothers they will accept they will take time kandi baranakubwira there is consequences if you don't respect it so igihe muzajya mugira muri consequences z'ibyo mwakoze ntimugatangire kurira ngo hari umuntu wafashwe uruhande icyo gihe wari kuvuga umuntu yafashwe uruhande wubahirije muri kubahiriza ibyo mwumvikanye noneho mwese noneho bikagaragara ngo ninde tukareba ko ari Tshisekedi wa mbere wari kubitangira noneho kugira ngo tuvuge ngo Amerika yafashwe uruhande ariko byagaragaye ninde muntu uvaletinga amasezerano uregwa arahari Fabrice quand même conscience yacu kandi mujye mwibuka ko umaze kutubwira ko uri umuntu ngo wemera ngo umwuka wera jewe unawibuke ukoresha ukuri umunyakuri merci observer kugira ngo tugende kwa Sylvie Stanga Sylvie nawe ni 3 minutes sa bengine ndayikora ndashyiraho chronometre ko ndabitwaza ko
No, Sanjay, so we can talk. I'm a bit busy.
Pardon? Pas compris?
Je dis, je suis un peu occupé, si vous pouvez parler.
Oui, 3 minutes. Quand on commence, 44, madame. À 48, tu vas finir. Merci. 5 minutes, Sylvie. Vous êtes là? Bonjour, madame Sylvie Stanga. Elle n'est pas là. Abbey.
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Sylvie?
Manuva?
Yeah, Sylvie, maybe she's busy and then.
Yeah, she may even speak after me. Since niba Stanley yumva ikinyarwanda?
No, napacyumva. Yumva icyongereza.
Okay.
Uje kubwira Stanley cyangwa uje kutubwira twebwe?
Ni kubabwira ko nawe wenda ndubuza kugira igito mubwira. Urabona nubwo mwafashe position yo gushyigikira Tshisekedi ariko murabizi yuko impamvu yo kurwana ku burenganzira bwacu ni impamvu ifite igihe kirekire kuva muri za 60 iminsi ishize bari barimo baribuka late Gisaro ukuntu yarwanye ukuntu yahagurutse yewe na n'Ikingundu simbizi bose bavuga uburyo ki yahagurutse yaharaniye uburenganzira bw'abanyamulenge bitwaga abanyarwanda iki. So it's a long story and we have the long still ongoing the troubles to be defined as true Congolese. So you may have somebody to help, but that does not remove the root cause of who we are. And like if Tshisekedi takes some specimen Banyamulenge, few like 20 dozen of Banyamulenge, and
can I stop you from there? We are talking about the peace agreement. We are not here about the Kagarai before Gane. I told everyone, please stop this. We are talking about the peace. Please stay in the lane. My brother Abe. This is the first warning. I'll give you the second warning. The third one, you'll be removed. I'm sorry. We are talking about the big thing. We are not talking about the small people. Sanjak, he's the Babe, he's the Sylvie. No. I'm sorry. We are not discussing about the Akagara, whatever, Gane. No. We are talking about the M23, Rwanda and DRC and FDLR. Please. Those are entities. They are not like individuals. Please stay there in that lane. Banyamulenge, few Banyamulenge who support Tekedi, they are in either pest or they support Tekedi, consider them with Tekedi, please. About your division, the Banyamulenge who support Tekedi are still Congolese. That's it. Those who doesn't support him, they are Congolese as well. Please, stay in that lane. I'm sorry.
Okay, I got you. So when this guy Stanley was like flipping the story and the ground cause of the conflict, this is based on the survival and the why our citizenship is denied. So the peace accord between Rwanda and DRC and the United States, that deal is first of all to outlift the FDLR from Congo and separate Tshisekedi with the FDLR support and the US doing business in Congo via Rwanda or I don't know, whatever. So that will take like an end. That will take an end. I think some days ago, you and I, we got like a short chat about the difference between Rwanda, DRC, and we, the Congolese people. So the U.S. Washington Accord, this will like very soon try to fight to dismantle FDLR and Rwanda lift the defense measures in Congo and etc. That will like very soon like those tripartite nations say, okay, now we arrive on this conclusion. But we, the Congolese, we will still fight for our freedom. And that when you defend yourself, there's no international customary laws or principles or norms which prohibit to defend yourself. So let's say this FLRR is one of the pillar of this conflict between Rwanda and Congo, and that maybe we will say, okay, let's fight this FLRR. But still, there are those refugees. You and I, we are refugees. You are not in Canada by accident or by choice. You are there because
I'm not.
there are many people, not you, but there are many people who had to flee from Congo to go everywhere around the world.
You are
so those people.
Abe, hold on, listen to me. a lawyer like you, when you got a resettlement, you reach to US. Are you still a refugee?
Of course.
Really? In the US?
Yeah. This is not my home, bro. Yeah, absolutely. It's not my home. I can be US citizen, but still, me, I'm consider myself as a refugee because this is not my home. It's like you find like a rich people and you ask him, is this you? Are you willing to go to heaven or just will stay forever here on earth? The rich guy will tell you, yes, absolutely, I need to go to heaven. So you and I, we need like to teach even young people, please come here, do whatever you do, like uplift you, upgrade yourselves, like educate yourselves, like get some wealth, but go home. Home need us. So there are those refugees who need to go home. Repatriation is included in the agreement.
Try to wrap.
There will be no repatriation without sure and sustainable peace. So to find that peace, it's not just to say this and that like lightly. We cannot ignore the big root cause and say Makenga or he's a proxy. Who is a proxy? Yeah, I can be a proxy if that proxy will lead me to the final destination. So that's why people around Africa, there are like two wings. A left and right, or one on one hand, on the other hand, like supporting Tshisekedi narrative and supporting the victim's narrative. So it's a choice, Brother Stanley. If you want like to learn and really understand this issue in Eastern Congo, you will understand a little bit about the cause and where it leads, the region. Because we see the Burundi involvement, we see Rwanda involvement, we see American involvement. So all of those are like surrounding the community which is a victim. You cannot deny it.
Thank you, Mr. Abe.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, maybe Stanley will respond to you after. Mr. Munyanzesta, wait, Mr. Stanley. Munyanzesta, are you there?
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
Mbere yo kuvuga kuri topic ndabanza kuvuga kuri bimwe mu byo bagiye batangira bavugaho ndagize njye kuri topic ntabwo ndi bubitsindeho ariko ndavuga mu bike bavuga kuri bimwe kuri abe hari n'abandi babivuzeho bijyanye no kuvuga ko barabahungu bo muri M23 ko birwanaho ibintu nk'ibyo ngibyo. Njya nkunda kubaza bano bahungu iyo bari gukoresha iyi terime ngo kwirwanaho, birwanaho batewe nande. Hari village byibuze imwe mwatubwira yaba ya community yanyu yigeze iterwa na FARDC cyangwa igaterwa na wazalendo mbere ya 2019 cyangwa se mbere ya 2020, noneho icyo kikaba aricyo cyatumye mufata intwaro mukarwana. Abe wambwira village imwe cyangwa ebyiri zigeze ziterwa?
Nyiri ngo kudukurana uranta muri topic
nibyo bavuze kwirwanaho. No kuvuga niba bavuze kwirwanaho bagomba no gusobanura kwirwanaho.
Tera amahoro, niba wemera ko turi kujya mu mahoro, urabareka bo gakomeza bakavuga ababyo turi kubona turi kubibona biri kuba
so icyo nicyo nashaka kuvuga kuri icyo ngicyo iyo bari kuvuga kuri icyo kintu bajya bamenya n'ibyo barimo kuvuga cyangwa se no kwirwanaho bajya bamenya umuntu uri kwirwanaho umuntu yirwanaho byagenze bite ntabwo ari ugupfa kuvuga gusa ngo ndi kwirwanaho ngo ibintu bimeze byose uko abantu babitekereza kwirwanaho kuriho abantu bajya bareka kuvuga ibintu biri nonsense icya kabiri numvise bari kuvuga kuri ngo badenayinga citizenship zanyu ari byo kumva birasekeje none se niba citizen zanyu niba barabahaye citizenship zanyu bagasanga wenda habaye ibibazo mu kuzibahereza bagasanga hari ibibazo bitarakurikije amategeko Kongo ifite right zo kuvuga ngo izo citizenship twatanze turazihagaritse ntabwo tuzemera isi si right z'igihugu cya Kongo any country igihugu cyose gifite right yo kuvuga ngo izi citizenship zatanzwe mu buryo butari bwo kohereza turazihagaritse igihugu cyako gifite uburenganzira bwo kubikora tuye muri kuza kuburana ibyo ngibyo ngo kubanze citizenship zanyu banze niba mwarazifashe mu manyanga niba mwarazihawe mu manyanga Kongo ifite uburenganzira bwo kubabwira ngo turazazi kanagereka no kubafata no kubadepotinga bakabasubiza iyo mwavuye niba mujya kubona ko Kongo ari igihugu kitafite ubwo burenganzira simbizi icyo ngicyo kambe ngibuyeho
ifungura amaso cyanjye
kugira nama uraza gufata umwanya wawe
kuvuga birumvikana so icyo ni kimwe nasoje tujye kuri ibi bintu by'amahoro no kuba intambara ziri guhagarara ni ibintu twese tumaze kubona byagiye mu maso yacu ya buri twese tubibona ryaba ari M23 y'ubwayo makomunike bagiye basohora yaba ari amasezerano na Washington ibyo bagiye bavuga byose turabizi ko byagiye bigenda twagiye tubisoma rero kuba uyu munsi M23 na RDF bari gusubira inyuma kugira ngo twese twarabibonye ari igitangaza se kirimo kuba bari gusubira inyuma bava mu birindiro byabo leta igaruka ijya mu birindiro bavuyemo ibyo basinye none se ari uwibagiwe amasezerano ari uwibagiwe za principal 8 basinye nade Doha ajya sanje zavugaga iki si byo bavugaga ntabwo basinye guhagarika intambara burundu no gusubira inyuma hagamije gutanga iyo ntambwe y'amahoro ikindi mu bintu basabye njya nshaka n'ikintu gituma uyu munsi bari umuntu ukivuga ngo tuzarwana ugiye kureba mu masezerano yose ibyo masezerano basinye ibintu y'umuveto yasabye byose barabibahaye kwaba ari ugucyura impunzi ngira ngo mu masezerano yabereye nuza Addis Abeba Kongo u Rwanda na hase babihaye umurongo kera ibyo se ntimubizi ntibyabaye ugiye kuri website y'u Rwanda ndibaza byitwa ngo niba ari barya biri muri ya minisiteri muri bahita ngo icyari inani ishinzwe niba ari biza n'ibiki nibagirwa yego ugiye kuri website yabo ibyo baganiriye n'ibyo bemeje icyo gihe birahari ugiye muri Kongo naho birahari ibyo ukuntu impunzi zigomba gutaha no ibibazo bigomba gukemuka byose babiganiriyeho uyu munsi rero ugiye kureba ukareba ukumva ngo twete ngo turacyakomeza kurwana bibaza icyo aba bantu barwanira icyo barimo, icyo barwanira ngo nikiye, nicyo bakeneye ngo nikiye ukakibura. So ngiye mvuze makeya, nuko nguko intambara yararangiye kandi twese turabibona, kubishyira mu bikorwa bari kubishyira mu bikorwa, nubwo babona ko ari ikibazo kuba babyegura, ariko bari kubikora ku manywa, twese twarabibonye. Nicyo ngicyo nashaka kuvuga, turakomeza tuganire.
Stanley, you heard what Mr. Abe said, that you tried flipping the thing. So, what is your response?
Sanjak, before Mr. Stanley, I wanted to say something, if you allow me.
Why don't you wait, Stanley, and then you will speak after Stanley.
He spoke before me, then, and it was even to correct him about what he said. I won't be long.
Okay.
Because he said something about FDLR saying that we have to make programs to integrate them. Sorry for my English. What I can say to him, that program has been there for many years, and you will see that every FDLR who come to Rwanda, either he is integrated in the army, or they are a program that is a center which is called Mutobo, where they sorry?
Rehabilitation center.
Yeah, they are a rehabilitation center where they come and they learn about how life it is in Rwanda before being integrated in the society. There are many even officers, you will see them, which who even create some problems between us and a part of Congolese, of some Congolese, but that program has been there. It's not something new that has to be created. Thank you. That's what I wanted to say, to tell to Mr. Stanley. Sanja, can I search?
Abantu muri kona, let me tell abantu muri kona mutari kuzamuka ntabwo ari upanga kubazamura, biri kungora ko ntabwo ndabona ko host, so nimbona ko host aramfasha abantu abamaze kuvuga mushatse mwamanuka kugira ngo tubohereze abandi chance nabo kuza kuvuga. Mr. Stanley, you heard what they are just Mr. Abe.
Yeah. If you want for Isaga to speak, before I respond, that's fine. But if you want me to speak right now, I can go ahead and then respond to them. So whatever works. So to what Abe said, if you listen to what Abe said, he said that there are a lot of people that are refugees, living as refugees as a result of the conflict. And there's a difference between the Congolese M23. And I just want to say something. Now, Abe, as a citizen, every citizen of a country have duty and responsibility as a citizen of a country. Even the United States, where you live as a citizen, you do have a duty and a responsibility to obey the government and respect the laws. And if you have issue with government policy, if you disagree with anything, there are code of law. You just don't go around taking the laws in your own hands. And of course, with the issue that you mentioned, that people, people's rights have been trampled upon in the Congo, people has been discriminated against. It's true. You are not lying. But there are processes and a procedure, and it is not by the use of force, because absolutely there is no military solution to a problem like that. And another thing that I want to say, you were talking about this Tshisekedi narrative now. I will ask a question, it's just rhetorical, and I will answer myself. Before Tshisekedi became president of Congo, was there peace in the Eastern Congo? The answer is no. There were conflict before Tshisekedi time. They were fighting. Tshisekedi did not create the conflict that was there. There was the issue of the Bayamulenge before Felix came to the presidency. So the issue of people saying that Felix created a narrative, blah, blah, blah. No, Felix had only tried to solve the conflict through diplomatic means. And he is the first president of Congo that I know of that have always said he recognized the right of the Congolese Tutsi and the Banyamulenge to become citizen and to participate within the democratic processes of the Congo. He has never denied their right. He has never carried on hate speech against them. He has always found a means of resolving this conflict. And he has recognized that one of the ways of resolving the conflict is to make sure that Rwanda withdraw and respect the territorial integrity of the DRC. And finally, Abe, you talk about, telling your children, going back home, and then fighting for your rights and things like that. I would say something. The best way is by pushing peace and by finding a real coexistent solution to the problem, and not by trying to go against the government by the use of force, because it has never worked in the past and it will never work, because all it would do is that it will create only more hate and more conflict and more victims. This is all it does, nothing else. It's not. It has never solved the problem, because of course there is no clear winner in a conflict. And so to solve that problem, the FDLR need to disarm, and the Congolese government recognize that, and they are disarming them. And to the brother who just talked about program being in Rwanda, when we talk about integration, about the FDLR, it's not Rwanda alone. It is also DR Congo. And another thing, brother, that I want to say to you is that the FDLR, when they are disarmed, they have the right, if they decide not to live in Rwanda, they have the right to live in the DRC, because they are free people. They can live in any country. They don't have to go back to Rwanda. If they feel like, Rwanda is under a dictatorship, there is no freedom of speech, and that we can't live here, they have the right to live anywhere. Once they are not threatening anybody, they are not using force, and they are not into violence, they are protected under international humanitarian law, to live anywhere. Thank you, and I will come later, Saint Jack, to make any other comment.
Can I ask you a question about the FDLR? You say that they are free to live everywhere, but here there is we saw last time the assistant. How can I call him? How the good way to call it him? Mr. Charlie Gonza. He's how they call adjoint in English. Adjoint is the quoi? Actually, he's a operation chief of staff of army of DRC, Mr. Jacques Chaligonza. He was just mobilizing the military, the soldier, the DRC part of the state. When he was in Kitangani last time, he said that we are ready to neutralize the FDLR. So that means if you say that these people, there are some generations that they grew up in DRC, they were born in DRC, but what we see here, let's pinpoint, if somebody saying that I grew up in America, but my ideology, I have to go back to remove from power Mr. Tshisekedi. It's a threat to Tshisekedi. Either you were born in Rwanda or you were born in America. Because there is this ideology of removing to power the current government in Rwanda. So don't you see that even though those kids, those young people, they were born in DRC, or they grew up in DRC, they still have this, as the Rwanda always mentioned that its ideology is not about the numbers of people, but it's the ideology. Don't you think that it's a threat to Rwanda?
Okay, can I answer that quickly?
Let me finish my question. Let me clear my question. This we saw last time the response of FDLR, the response to DRC government. They still, because they were like this campaign asking them, okay, to put the gun down, to report themselves to MONUSCO and different entities in DRC. But they say, no, we are not going to do that. We are ready to fight. What do you think about it? Because you are saying that they're about to disarm them, but DRC said that they're about to neutralize them.
Okay, so let me tell you what I think. So it's a cycle that that Rwanda has been living in, and this is what we want to end, because this is what I said. There is no military solution. For example, when Habyarimana was in power, what he did to the Rwandese Tutsi, they went into Uganda, and the RPF said that they were being discriminated against, and so they have the right to come back in their country, right? So the FDLR, who are also Rwandese, they are also want to use force, to go back in their country. And so the way you gain power, speak a lot. And then this is why, we say no. We say this cannot continue like this. So RPF came, you remove Habyarimana, you build a beautiful country. Those that were displaced by Habyarimana, by the RPF war, they too come back, and then they try to remove, the current government. It's not going to work, because it would just be a cycle over and over with one group making another group refugees, and then that group regroup and come back to take revenge. This is the cycle that we try to end, because if we don't end it, it will just be a continuation. So the way to end it is, number one, by finding a lasting and a sustainable, peaceful solution to the conflict. Because the very FDLR that are in DR Congo, they are parents. Like I said, they are very young. They are okay now. So to be accused of the genocide in Rwanda, even people that were born in 1985 in Rwanda, it's impossible that they were partook in the genocide, because by 1994 they were 9 years old, right? So their parents might have participated in the genocide, and so they know absolutely nothing about the whole genocide, or they were pretty young when they came as refugees into DR Congo. And so all the narrative that they hear is from their parents' perspective. Similarly, the RPF that also came from Uganda, most of them were born in the refugee camps in Uganda. All the narrative that they got were also from their parents. So our position now is that this cannot be a cycle. It can't continue in that way. How do we end it? Number one is by respecting one another's territorial integrity. Rwanda should not support any rebel group into DR Congo, which is the M23, because if Congo decided to do the same, it will not be right. All right? Number two, all of the groups should disarm, and then they should respect their respective government. Number three, they should be reintegrated into the society, so that the whole narrative of continuous, ethnic conflict can end within the Great Lake region. Otherwise, you will have one group like the CNDD, FDD coming from Tanzania, coming to remove Buyoya from power. Now the very people that were removed, some of them want to come back to form the Red Taraba to go back into Burundi. It's not, it has never worked. And so this is our position. It has never worked. It has to be done through peace agreement, and by respecting the peace agreement, and by integrating these people. This is why we are holding the Rwandese government accountable for not respecting the peace agreement.
Thank you. Sylvie Tang. 5 minutes, mama. Je vais compter.
Ona, mimi unanipatia tu kusema, unaanza nihesabiria minute. Hakuna mwanisikia unaambia minute.
Usikonea anza kwa 30 minutes tuanze pigana. Mimi niko nakwambia 5 minutes ni ya mingi. Awandi kwa 3 minutes.
Aliko Sanjak. Sikukuwa na yake kunichukia, unanipenda vita. Kunipatia na minute.
Extra, yeah.
Okay, first, I want us to establish some historical truth. My brother Stanley, there is a parallelism you are trying to put into different rebellion or whatever. I don't know how you call it the right way, by bringing a parallelism, by saying if Congo also helped another rebellion movement to come to attack Rwanda, by bringing up the Burundi case. I just want you to understand that, even though it's not the focus of my intervention, that we are talking about Rwanda, and Rwanda and the genocide against the Tutsi, something you people have been putting light, putting some comparison, and those things. My dear, the genocide of Tutsi in Rwanda in 94 is one of its kinds in the history of the world, which needs to be treated with its own weight and correctness. So there is no argument about that. There is a genocide which happened in Rwanda, and that from the science and the politics behind the word genocide, linguistic people can come and give their definition. It's something which is prepared, it's something which is targeted, and it's something which has a clear plan. I'm not going to go into the historical part of it. And there is something my African brother confused, the problematic of Congolese Tutsi and the problem of Rwanda and Congo, even though at one point in explaining you find there is some similarities. So here I'm speaking as a Congolese Tutsi who grew in injustice. Finally. And who's Jean-Jacques, nishakwambia misa niko nasema sipende mtu akunishimamisha. Je sina akili sana, je risque un peu de me perdre. Donc, ngoja kwanza niseme. But what made me actually raise my hand was the accreditation of the help from imperialistic countries. We all know them. I don't want to repeat them. Like for me, seeing an African celebrating that that America is coming to silence the gun, when we know very well that this is a form of neocolonization where the West is coming to colonize us. They are taking our wealth and our resources. But because there is this hatred of Rwanda, it's like, okay, instead of giving to Rwanda, let me give to whoever who can come and stop the war or something like that. That is something African we should not celebrate. I don't know, beyond Rwanda, Congo, and the problematic of the Great Lakes region, I don't know if the Pan-Africanists we are even thinking about this. For me, I see first the dishonesty of the mediator who is coming, calling. I don't know. How do you come and say a peace deal also should rely on the economic part? I do understand that peace bring economic gain, but really framing the whole peace machine on me having this and that, it's wrong. On a human rights based, it's wrong. You cannot be the mediator and benefit from that. A mediator is something neutral, even though I never went to the peace studies to learn about that. So I feel sad as an African when I see we are celebrating that. And this thing of Tshisekedi being happy to bring whoever who's coming, whoever who can ask him anything, but come and fight and like remove Rwanda on the map, he finds it like something to clap about. And I always see my brothers here, Congolese or not, from the region, being happy about that. That should disturb us as Africa. Now, Stanley, going to the problematic of Congo, because you guys were saying the war is over. The war cannot end in Congo. I'm dreaming about peace because I don't want to leave my kids in a war zone. No, I want to say at one time in my life, I saw the war ending. But the war cannot end when we celebrate wrong gains. You need to call the victim, us, the people of the East, not really the people in Kinshasa, and they tell you that what are the problems? Those problems started when? I don't want to go in the chronology of the issues we have in the East, because Stanley, you are bringing something called Congo sovereignty. But for me, sovereignty does not mean what you understand. For me, sovereignty is my identity to be accepted. And my identity, if it's not accepted in Congo, Stanley, you want it to be accepted where? I hear, I'm sorry, maybe it's biased. Your tone, your accent is like maybe South African or from wherever. You belong somewhere. Whoever has a nationality of wherever, I don't want to know. But when you are still not capable of calling a place home is a problem. You're calling about refugee and you take it like we are refugee, you know? We need to understand that the problem goes beyond the peace deal in Washington. The problem goes beyond the peace deal in Doha. The problem comes home. It comes home where I cannot go to my grandfather's place. Someone was saying here, wacha niseme sio mtu alikuwa anasema sio jina yake simkumbuke mimi alikuwa anasema hata mkinyarwanda ngwa kwanza please nibebe pole pole
ndugu yako
je cherche ni ndugu yangu okay il a dit ngo maybe for the sake of Stanley, there is someone who is speaking Kinyarwanda like me, who said, ask the people who are screaming that we are victim. Did they kill your person? Did they remove you in the village? He wants me to bring him in my grandfather's village and realize that even the house which was made of brick whatever, had things, has been destroyed just because that house belonged to a Rwandan, to a Tutsi from Congo. Stanley, those things goes beyond the headline in the New York Post and something. We are talking about being accepted like everyone. We are talking about having home. We are not talking, when people celebrate Congo and Rwanda having issues, us, it does not concern us. Stanley, my family has been almost 30 years in refugee camp in different countries in the region, from Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda. Does that mean for 30 years they really want to be there?
Sylvie, thank you.
I lost family members being killed for who they are. Right. So, na nyema mko mnasema Kinyarwanda pa kukia mnaanza sema ngono ikibazo kirihe ikibazo se kirihe who you are talking, how victim are you? Nyamanza kwa nimalize Sanjak.
Hapana hawezi tumikisha 10 minutes nakubwiye nagwa iminoti 5 indi 2 none ntabwo uri gushaka guhagarika dufite abantu benshi reba ibiganza bimanitse reba nawe kishamo amaturebe urumva abantu twaye ntwari iminota 8 10 byagenda gute fata umunota umwe usoza stingi umunota umwe in minute content
nilikuwa niko natajibia
birongera bikifunga fungura mic yawe.
Okay. Nilikuwa mimi natajibia ule kama ni munyaneza. Mwiko nasema sie wenye tuko tunasema hapa ese batwimye nationalite uti. Ngo see, but for me the issue is not me. I'm a privileged person. I can live anywhere in the world. My kids can survive in any place. But I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about you who has data here. I'm talking about mtu mwenye iko mkansai mwenye balisha kwambia mkande refugee wanawapatiaka franka ngapi par mois. So, banamaliza mo 30 unaanza hawataendaka. You people cannot be happy, some of you in Kinshasa, and feel that you have a seat on that table. Kuerako, you are condemning Rwanda, and you think our problem will finish. Okay, let's see, Saint-Jacques, suppose que America inakuwa inamaliza vita hapa. Sasa kama inamaliza vita, because here you are talking about FDLR, because Stanley, you are also talking about FDLR like just a group of people. No, my dear, a genocide comes with a genocide ideology. So I'm not saying it's translated by blood. I'm not saying it's translated by DNA, but understand that my family started being discriminated before the 94 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. I lost so many members. So now, the same genocide, une minute, pardon. Une minute, two. Suivez. Ok, avec la permission de tout le monde ici. Donc, je voulais dire à Stanley, I wanted to tell you that the genocide ideology is not something which you say, okay, we have 10 people who have the genocide ideology, because sometimes it's even spread in other. We have this group called Wazalendo, who are also called like patriots, but they are patriots on a briefing that we are fighting Rwanda, we are fighting people, the M23. Because Stanley, before M23, there was Sendepe, there was AFDEL, there was LCD, there was all those movements. So today M23 can end. But the issue, the discrimination, micro and micro, whatever, aggression I've been facing will not end.
You're fighting against discrimination by killing other people. That's not the way.
I did not imply. Did I say that? I'm saying people should kill others. Nyamata.
Sylvie. Eva, mukobate moyangu marai.
She says people can fight against discrimination. How can
you mute your mic? Nagwano niye nkora gutyo. Uramutinga abandi wastanze uramanika ikiganza nk'abandi bose kabisa. muko batemwe yangu Sylvie ni ibingiye tujya turwana nawe buri gihe ntajya ashaka kurangira uzareke nzakugira umutumirwa umunsi wose icyo gihe uzaba ufite umwanya wo kuvuga igihe gihagije ariko ubu ngubu ufite iminota nk'iy'abandi bose nagwaye privilege ugeze mu minota 10 so rero I'm sorry ubu twarangizanyije nawe
nase sanja banyumvishije nabi ntabwo navuze ko I'm not for peace because peace is what all of us want but peace is not in papers in Washington. Peace is in our real life of every day. Ule mwenye kwa nasema hatuna probleme tuko tunasema ngombe balituima identity walifanya. I want to tell you even at school we were being discriminated nani sanja peut-être yenye mko batoto. I'm sorry I don't know your age but me I lived at a time where even grades were not being given to people juni watoto watusi kuma masomo from anywhere. Ulikuwa unakutana mtoto wa mtusi mwe iko nasoma peut-être amashuri ya bapadiri amashuri ya babikira maybe but other school were even discriminated so kukuya
ntago byashoboka nta kumanuka so kugusuzugura ntago byashoboka
Sanjak, I was busy, can I go on after?
Yeah, kuna kio propaganda twese twize muri Zaire kandi ndakeka ko tujya kungana nawe cyangwa tukangana ko numvise imyaka yiwe yarayivuze imyaka yiwe ubimanaga amanota ngo nibatangaga amanota ku ishuri kwa Mobutu ukubera ko umututu propaganda bandugwe
Sanjak, can I go on?
Propaganda and go, wait, let me finish this. I cannot let this propaganda just like this. And tuvuze ngo wakati ya Kabila ibibazo byari maze kuba kwa Mobutu ma diplome d'etat bakubwa yetu walizikamatia wapi
tulikuwa kama bobolia kwa periodi ya Mobutu tulikuwa kama bobolia Goma kwa periodi ya Mobutu unasahau unajifanya
na mimi nikwambia kama niko malia Goma maana hivi hakuna mtu alipata diplome Mugoma
na ukwaka bobolia wewe Goma ukwaka bobolia
mimi nilikuwa bobolia kufanya hapo nini mimi siko mtu wa Goma pas Goma traité
okay je comprends alors
on se pas Goma traité lakini ubu nyine nta mtu n'umwegeze ubona diplome muri Goma nta mututsi n'umwe wigeze ubona diplome muri Goma kubera ari abatutsi birumvikana reka dukomeze ntabwo navuga amakuru y'Igoma ntayazi ntaraba ataribona kuri okay observer I know you and Stanley last time I was in one place you attacked him saying that it's important to see a person like a foreigner saying that we will do this, we will do that in DRC, as if he's not allowed to give his opinion, or whenever we say Iran problem, the escalation of war in Iran and Israel, we are allowed, but a fellow African who followed this Stanley, maybe you don't know him. Stanley is a journalist professionally. He followed this accord. He was just following. He was in Angola. He was everywhere in those peace agreements. He was covering everything. So whenever you say that, oh, wow, how can you say that? He's a professional journalist. You were there in different meetings. So when you say that you want to found it last time like a discrimination, when you say that he's not allowed a foreigner, I heard you said it. I couldn't speak in that space because there is some space that I call emotional space that you are not allowed. All of you have to sing the same song. You have to speak the same thing. If somebody else brings his opinion, you start to insult him. So that those spaces I don't attend those places. I can come and listen only, but I cannot come and respond because I know that it will be a scandal. Thank you, Mr. Observer. Open your mic. The floor is yours. 5 minutes.
All right, thanks a lot, Sanjak. Well, okay, coming back to that, what you just mentioned, I think with all the spaces I've been part of, I can bet my life that you would never hear me insulting someone, or, I may say some things that may be understood, but in terms of respecting people's integrity and dignity, I try my best to do it. In fact, by the way, why I was jumping on style is for that very fact that he's a journalist. So, it's like when you see a pastor drinking, you tend to be more angry than if you see me drinking my Heineken or something, So it's different. So the reason I was, and by the way, that's a bias, because I brought my previous conversation I had with Stalin in another space. So I figured that he was playing some sort of shady game, because the discussion we had before was not, it didn't end well. So for a journalist, I found that it was very strange for him to say that, for instance, Banyamulenges are refugees, because that was my main concern. And for someone to be that involved as a journalist, to be part of all these so-called peace agreements, he witnessed them, and apparently he has dedicated a lot of his time into investigating the Congo issue. But to come with such a statement and saying that we are refugees, So I told him, go and do more research. I don't know if he's done that research, that he knows that our great grandfathers were there. So that maybe even in his approach to this problem, he would understand that when people say discrimination, they're not just coming up with they're not imagining it, It could be that maybe he doesn't understand it because he really thinks we are refugees. Therefore, we have to respect some laws. We have to do this. We have to sort of beg for our nationality. So that's why. But I understand my bias. I apologize, and I think I must have apologized last time. I jumped at him because of that specific thing. So, when I hear some of my brothers here, and a lot of people say that, Congo, and I think it refers to this war as well, I think there are many wars we are fighting in Congo. There are economic wars, discrimination wars, education wars,